Hey, this is Gina Versa. Welcome to another episode of Speedrun the Podcast. I'm your host as always. Today we have a good friend of the show. He's been on so many times, but this is his first time on Speedrun the Podcast. And we're joined by Noah Garcia to talk Darth Maul Shadow Lord. How are you, Noah?
Hi, I'm good. For all the new people to me, Noah Garcia, I'm a writer, photographer, and fun fact, I knew the Waffle Press due to a friend of ours, Diego, and
Hmm.
then I met Gene, and Gene's great, and we hang
Oh,
out when
thank
we
you.
can. But it's funny that Diego has never asked me to be on an episode of anything Waffle Press related, and it's always been Gina Versa. So you know what? Thank you, Gina Versa. I appreciate you. Thank you for
Oh
inviting me.
no,
It's an honor to be on. I'm
I
excited.
I appreciate your friendship. I do, yeah. It's good.
hmm
It's been good getting to know you. But I wanted to bring you on
hmm
because two things. Firstly, you're a big Star Wars fan, even in areas where I've fell off I've fallen off
hmm
of, no offense to anyone that still is enjoying it or the showrunners or anything, but some
hmm
shows not for me. But also too, whenever I mention Star Wars stuff, you always tell me I have a Star Wars sounding name.
I truly okay. It's because I do really dumb accents all the time. I just
Mhm.
go like, there he is, Gina Versa. Like it just sounds Star Warsy when you say it all at once. And I've had people say like, why do you say his whole name like that? And I'm like, because it's Star Wars coded. Jin
Uh-huh.
Urso,
Jyn Erso. Well, okay,
Gina
okay.
Versa. See how it has like
Yeah,
similar beats?
I could see it now because like for Star Wars names, I always think of like Greedo or what's his name,
hmm
Ben Corsoas.
Yeah.
What's that fool's name?
Cordanoa, or I forget what
And
it is. I know who you're talking
yeah,
about, the pod racer.
the pod racer
I
guy,
know.
Sebulba. But
Mm.
yeah, I guess there are kind of names that are similar to Gina Versa,
The
right?
thing about Star Wars is that you either have an insane name or a normal name. So you're either like you're Jin Urso or you're Luke. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
You're your Master Pong Krell or your Devin. So you got
Yeah. There's no in between. Yeah.
there's no
Just
in
be
between. It's either ridiculousness or just regular with a little bit of a twist to it.
yeah. Max Rebo,
Max
the
Rebo.
the blue
And then you
elephants.
have and then you have Han.
Yeah, Hanzo.
So it all just jumps around,
He
basically.
has no he has no people, so his last name was
No,
Solo.
his has no people. His last name is Solo. That is a dumb movie if you just enjoy it. It's a fun movie if you just enjoy
Uh-huh.
it. Why is it
Yeah.
called? It answers questions we don't need answering to, but that's
Mm.
kind of Star Wars sometimes. So,
Yeah, yeah, I think so. It's very it feels very like expanded universe.
mhm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah. But Noah, you've been enjoying Clone Wars and this kind of through line
hmm
of some of the animated shows for a while. Um, just before we get into like the
hmm
official questions and all that, tell us a little bit about just kind of your history with Clone Wars and Star Wars in
hmm
general. I'm just curious.
As a little kid, I didn't have cable growing up. So basically, I went to my cousins who did have cable, and at the time, I butcher this name every single time. The Tartakovsky.
Yeah, no, you said it
Okay, yay, I did it. I'm cultured.
right.
We did it, and it was on, and I was hooked, and I was like, "What is this?" So immediately we went to Walmart and bought the DVDs, and I just replayed that over and over. And then later, I heard there was a Disney Plus Disney show, but again, didn't have cable, so I truly didn't grab it on until it got canceled and thrown on Netflix. Then I watched everything on Netflix. Then when season 7 came out, I was so hyped, and then I've just been following along. And it's so funny because it's canonically only supposed to be 3 years, but I feel like they
Mhm.
regret that just because there's so much story they pack into those quote 3 years.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's this spectrum of Clone Wars where it's like Jar Jar Binks and Mace Windu team up on wacky adventures, and then it's just like this person did a bombing, like a domestic terrorism, and one of our favorite characters got, screwed for it. It flips from like silliness to like actual discussions on fascism, and it's an interesting piece that I love with all my heart. But I
Yeah,
would want to know your relationship with Clone Wars.
yeah, I mean for Clone Wars, I believe I was watching it when it was coming out on Cartoon Network
hmm
and there were a lot of episodes coming out during
Hmm.
that time during cable, and I've missed a few. I know that they aired out of order too at some
Hmm.
point, right? So that didn't help. But yeah, I would kind of go in and out. I got out when yeah, it felt more wacky adventures because
Hmm.
I was a little bit younger, so I didn't really jive with that, I guess, at the time. You're kind of like, I want this to
Hmm.
be serious. And then when they started bringing Maul and
Hmm.
Savage Opress,
Hmm.
yeah, that's when I started getting interested again. And it was like,
Hmm.
oh, this is so cool that they're kind of giving you hidden chapters to
Hmm.
the between episode 2 and 3 at the time. So I was
Hmm.
really hooked. And they came out with the season on Netflix and they came out with the final season. So it just yeah, it had a very special place in my heart with some of the memories I have of Clone Wars, and I've
Hmm.
since re-gone and like rewatched some of the seasons
Hmm.
on Disney Plus. So it's always interesting because we were talking about like the animation quality of the
Yeah.
early seasons, and then look at it now,
Hmm.
right?
Like if you look at the first actual Clone Wars animated movie, where it's the introduction of Ahsoka and Rudda the Hutt.
Yes,
Shout out to that baby Hutt. We're gonna see him in Mandalorian and Grogu, so shout
yeah.
out to that baby. Fan favorite Hutt is coming back to our screens, baby. But it's funny to look at that old animation that is just so choppy, so blocky. They're trying their best, they're experimenting, but the fact that we've been able to stick to this one animation style and really evolve throughout the years to something like Maul Shadow Lord, where we see just so distinctly how the weather effects are done. Like
Hmm.
the facial expressions are insane. It's a wonderful like overview of like how far we've come in this animation style. Truly.
Yeah. Yeah, it really has. I was gonna say I never saw the movie when it came out, so I
No,
eventually saw.
same. I eventually
Yeah,
also saw it and I was just like, oh, this. I'm glad it did well because without it, we never would have had this show, I guess. But it's not the best out there. I'll say. I try to stay positive, but you know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was an interesting start
Hmm.
to the series, huh? It was essentially the pilot, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, it was also too. I was gonna say yeah, I was also a big fan of the Gendy cartoons as well, which I guess they're
Yeah.
not canon, or are they? I don't know.
Uh, kind of yes and no. Just because it like I don't I think it's like it's that thing where they're if they want to take things from it, they can. They don't have to though, because it's sort of like
Mhm.
this big nebulous. So who could say, honestly? I mean, some things fall in line, like there are certain through lines that are kind of within both cartoons, like Shakti getting captured, like defending
Mhm.
Anakin going from Padawan to Knight. Like there are a few things that are similar, but it feels like they're just gonna cherry pick whatever works for them,
Mm.
which has
I
always
saw,
been Star Wars.
yeah, I saw a good explanation that they're supposed to be like propaganda films that came out during the Clone Wars at
That
the
would
time.
be amazing because you see like Mace Windu go. "Ga-da-da-da-da-da." It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I would glaze the fuck out of Mace Windu if I saw him like hand to hand fist beat up like 1,000 battle droids. I'd be like, hell yeah,
yeah.
Jedi, let's go.
They have really exaggerated powers
Hmm.
in that show. That was the
Oh yeah,
I don't know if that's a critique. That's interesting to
I think
see.
that's just like a stylistic choice. I
Right.
think.
Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, I mean yeah, with I guess it's ex Legends. It's not called
Hmm.
Expanding Universe. It's called
Yeah,
Legends, right?
pre-Disney, anything pre-Disney, unless they bring it forward. I think.
Yeah. Do you know why it's called Legends? Because it's like for DC fans, they call out of continuity things like
Hmm.
Elseworlds
Hmm.
or Marvel. I think it's just What If or whatever. Do you know
Hmm.
why it's Legends?
No, tell me.
No, I don't know. I was asking
Oh,
you.
the way you set that up, I thought like, oh, I'm gonna get a history lesson right now. But
No.
no, nothing. You failed
I
me, Gina Versa.
I was genuinely
And I
curious.
first choke you.
You need to
No,
ask Pablo Hidalgo or something if you ever find him.
I'm gonna go egg Dave Filoni's house, and while I'm egging his house, uh, I will ask him why is it called Legends or Sam Witwer. Sam Witwer is
Mm.
a great lore master. I'll go to one of his Comic Con lines and I'll be like, "What's up with Legends? Why is it called that?"
Yeah, he knows a lot generally, right?
He
He
does.
That's really it's really interesting. Yeah, he always has like really fun clips that appear.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess without any further ado, if you want to speed run,
Speaking of Sam Witwer,
mm-hmm.
we're- Maul Shadow
Maul Shadow Lord, yeah,
Shadow Lord.
that's
Here
a
we
good lead
are,
into it.
baby. Thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
set that up personally for you.
Oh, thank you. But Noah, were you ready? I have my timer here, and we could start
Yes,
going into it.
speed run the podcast. For
Mm-hmm.
everyone that's new to this, we're gonna speed run a podcast, do a bunch of questions, see if we can time it. I am ready. I'm so hyped. Let's do it. Ooh. Okay.
Awesome.
I've been praying. I've
All
prepared
right,
for this.
and here we go. All right, so Noah, what was your first impression of Darth Maul growing up?
Darth Maul growing up was sort of that paragon of coolness that I feel every generation of Star Wars viewers has. Like original trilogy, it's Boba. He does cool shit, then dies. 2000 trilogy, it feels like Maul because he does cool shit then die. Newer trilogy, it's Captain Phasma who does some cool shit then dies. You know, like there's these paragons of coolness that pop up every time. So it was seeing him was fucking cool as hell. Can we curse on this show? I just cursed.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
you're
Okay,
good, you're good.
it was fucking cool. That's
Mm-hmm.
my big fan of Maul. Love the design. It's just it's cool. He was cool. First thoughts cool and has never gone away.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's yeah, it's kind of they get one-shotted, all those
Mhm.
types of characters. Um, thoughts on the clone on where the Clone Wars took the character in previous storylines?
The way they took that character I thought was very interesting because I feel like Maul and his journey is sort of a litmus test for Star Wars fans on whether or not you're cool or lame. Because Star Wars fan, because
Yeah.
we find Maul chopped in half, fueled by anger and the dark side as a spider robot. He shows up with the spider legs and he's freaky. And if you're a Star Wars fan that can accept that weirdness and the strangeness of it all, then I think you can have a fun time because some Star Wars fan can get very nitpicky, they can get very critical, they can get too much. And I feel like if
Hmm.
you can accept Maul spider legs, that's the litmus test of okay, you're cool. So him just showing up randomly, sort of randomly, like Savage, you have a brother. It's Darth Maul. He's alive. What? That's
Hmm.
such melodrama shit. And just bringing him in was something I don't think I ever expected. It came out of the blue for me because I was not online when these things were dropping. So I was super surprised and just going into the character who really any of his lines were cut in the original movie. He has like one thing, everything else is gone. Hearing him see such like he's so fucking wordy and he's so badass and he always fails, but he continues to get away and try. I loved him going through Star Wars because he's such like a good villain.
Yeah, he really is. I guess
Mhm.
going off of that, what makes Darth Maul such an interesting character? Because, he doesn't
Mhm.
speak in episode one, and yeah, he kind of becomes almost like a different character, right?
Mhm.
Throughout the course of the show, and yeah.
I think it's interesting because Maul as a character, it almost feels like there is a radicalization of him that happens slowly throughout because he has a master. He feels like he's been betrayed. He didn't do anything because his master had another apprentice lined up. Because we saw from the flashbacks, he was already talking to Dooku when he was
Yeah.
doing this over. He was
Yeah, he
already
was
getting,
he was
yeah,
two-timing him.
he was two timing him. He's like, my twink is my sugar daddy's cheating on me, and he was ready. So it's just so interesting to watch him develop because he's firmly dark side, but his interpretation of the force and everything around him really develops and changes. And it's interesting throughout Shadow Lord because when we see Maul again in Clone Wars, he is hate, rage, and vengeance is what kept him alive. But as we go to the end of Clone Wars, and he's just like, oh, everything's falling apart. There are things that are maybe more important than my rage and revenge. And then into Shadow Lord, where he's just like, we can get our revenge, but we also need to find an equilibrium. Like we see things in this show that Maul has done that he would have never done. We see him meditating. We see
Hmm.
him training, going through forms, which was insane. That's not something
Hmm.
like a Sith really does. Uh, and it's interesting because to call back to Sam Witwer, there's an interview when he was doing The Force Unleashed, and he was giving feedback to the writers about they're having the a Star Killer meditate, and he was talking about like he should be like upset and angry and grunting, and they're like, why? He's like, well, Vader never taught him how to meditate. You know,
Mm.
it's sort of a thing that goes back to that. It's like kind of echoes of Star Killer has always kind of resonated a little bit in Maul, and I feel like that's
Hmm.
just increased as his existence has been more expanded upon throughout all these different shows and comics and mediums. So I'm just his development is just so intriguing. This dark side user who slowly opens his mind, maybe learns to look past vengeance, but then as we see during the time of Rebels, has just collapsed right back into vengeance, trying to find Obi-Wan. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of this, oh, you almost broke the cycle, but no, you didn't, and now you die. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, it's
intriguing.
yeah, but there were some other characters. We had Captain Lawson,
Mhm.
Two Boots, Devin. What did you think of everyone else in the show?
Oh, I'm a big fan of it. This show is very tightly written, so there's not a lot of time for any characters. There's no wasted time or interactions or character movements. Everything is really finely detailed and laid out for us. So I loved everyone. We got just enough information about every character to really get their vibe. A big fan of all of them. My big theory is that Captain Lawson is still, spoiler alert, alive. That's
Mm,
my big theory. I really want to talk
didn't see the
about it.
body.
We
Yeah.
didn't know that's the rule in Star Wars. Unless you see the body and you see them dying, they might be alive. And there's a moment in the last episode, I feel like a lot of people caught it as well, where he sees Maul betraying the Master Jedi. And then like that has to come back in season two. He has to be alive so he can
Yeah.
tell Devin, hey, Maul betrayed your master, so there can be more drama and shit. So I'm hoping he's alive. But everyone else, wonderful. Great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, no, definitely some interesting characters. Two Boots and Lawson's relationship is
Mhm.
he narked on him too at
He
first.
did. And it's funny because it's like there's this meme online that's like meant for like Republicans and stuff where it's like, oh, I never voting for the leopard face eating party. I never thought the leopards would eat my face. And it's kind of the same thing for Two Boots, where it's like, oh, well, this is protocol. And then he gets there, he's like, oh, yeah, protocol means you can't have your boots, brother.
They
Protocol means we're
did.
shooting the kids on sight, brother.
Yeah,
And
they
he's
took
like,
his
oh,
boots.
they took his boots. But it was so cute when Lawson was like, Two Boots? He's like, you recognize me? And he's like, of course I fucking recognize you. And Two Boots was like, I'm sure within his internal processes, he was like, I shouldn't have called the Empire.
Yeah.
It was just fun seeing him be like, oh, the consequences of my actions?
He
What?
had
Like, he didn't realize it. And it's so interesting.
he had an interesting arc.
He did.
But we also see Vader. He comes back, has a cameo. And then it's also in a weird place where, sadly James Earl Jones has passed,
Mhm.
but they didn't have him speak too in the appearance. Did the cameo work for you?
Cameo worked really well. And let me tell you, it's little bitches like you online. I did not notice he didn't speak till people said it. I was
Mm,
so caught up in the moment. And yeah, that was intriguing. In my brain, I'm rationalizing it in the sense that it's sort of a juxtaposition between the two because Maul's a wordy motherfucker and Vader only says things when he wants to. In the entire fight, you can see he's really toying with these Jedi. He has a lot of very simple forms. He's just beating them down. Like he only gets truly serious when I feel bad now because I feel like I should remember her name. Devin's master,
hmm.
Eiko Diodaki. When he actually lands a blow on Vader, you can see there's like an enormous shift in his speed and form, and he starts hitting him, and he's like, "Okay, I'm
Yeah,
done." So like the entire time he was just playing with them, and I
yeah,
thought it was interesting. I think it's I'm not sure what they're gonna do moving forward, but him not speaking didn't really. I didn't notice it truly till other people pointed it out, and then I was like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
huh." So it didn't make that much of a difference to me, but I loved it. I know
yeah,
people have had complaints about like the Disneyfication of Star Wars, but I would say to whatever validity that has, to counterpoint it, Disney has never treated Vader as a joke whatsoever. Whenever he shows up at anything, it is monstrous. He is a boogeyman. He is a Jason Voorhees scream killer of the Star Wars universe. He will show up and kill you. The end. You are done.
yeah,
So it was
yeah.
great cameo, great time.
Yeah, we also saw who was more powerful, him or Maul, which was
Mhm.
Vader. Um, Thoughts on the commentary the show has on fascism? Maul
Mhm.
almost misses the Republic, and he's like, maybe the Jedi aren't so bad.
Yeah, I will say I think Sam Witwer himself said like maybe like a couple years ago somebody asked him that and he was like, "Oh yeah, Vader would win 100%." So Sam Witwer already said it.
Yeah.
But also Maul was very injured by the time we got there. Like
Mm.
his leg was like half off, his waist was broken. But the commentary on fascism, I think it does mostly come back to the two boot. It's two things. It's Maul's sort of it's the demon when it comes to the Republic and the Empire he doesn't. So there's almost a comfort in this old regime that he knew and could possibly navigate because the Republic is going to allow these gangsters to move around. Empire is not going to be doing that. And it's just intriguing to see that happen. And going back to two boots and fascism, it's that I didn't know they'd eat me, even though I voted for them, and here they are.
Yeah,
And it just was really easily uh pushed into the narrative and it fit really well. And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
yeah. Dread and Boss, he comes in at the end. Did
Mhm.
you expect it to connect to Solo?
No, I was surprised just because I know, I think Solo is like 16 or 17 years after the fall of the Empire. So I
Oh,
truly, it's something like
and
that.
we are out of time.
We're out of time.
Yeah, sorry, you got
No!
through. You were like,
No! How many questions did I do?
you got through like nine pretty much.
All right,
You
beautiful.
needed like three more, but it's okay. It's not how you play, or it's not if you win or lose. It's how you play the game. So
Oh no.
yeah,
Damn it. I was so close.
no, you're good.
Anyways.
Anyway, yeah. What were you gonna say
Uh
about Dryden Voss? I said that name wrong.
oh, Drayden Voss, whatever. I don't see
Yeah,
Star Wars names.
yeah,
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
I didn't expect it to kind of translate into that, but it does make sense. And it is interesting if they're going to explore that sort of bounce back, because if Maul is doing nothing but seeking vengeance, then the main victim of that vengeance should be Palpatine. But it seems like is he going to continue to build powder? Because when we see him at Han Solo, he is head of the what is it, Blood Syndicate, right? What is it?
It's the
Crimson
Crimson
shit.
Dawn. Crimson
Crimson
Dawn.
Dawn. I'm such a fake
Yeah, so
fan.
because they're
Uh-huh.
yeah, initially Dryden kind of is shoulder to
Mhm.
shoulder with them, and
Mhm.
we see in Solo that I think Maul kind of outranks Dryden at this point because he's like kind of
Yes.
under the gun too, right?
Yes, no. During Solo, there's this whole like hinting to like the greater boss of Crimson Dawn, and then when I think her name's Kira,
Kira, yeah,
Emily Clarkson, she calls him like that's her boss for sure. So I think he is ruler of Crimson Dawn at that time, but sometime in between that, he gets stranded on that Sith planet where Ezra and the other rebels bump into him. So who knows? Who truly knows?
yeah, yeah,
But no, it
exactly.
was unexpected, but not unwelcome, I would say.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, no, you made some really good points
Thank
about
you.
Star Wars and Darth Maul in general. You're a
Mhm.
very good scholar of the lore and
Thank
everything.
you. It's because I have no life. See all the nerdy shit behind me. I have no
Yeah,
life.
no, no.
I got a comic book of the Teen Titans playing D&D. That's me in a nutshell.
I see.
On the back of my
Um,
wall for
it
our
was
audio listeners.
but yeah, no, I mean, you're very well read on Star Wars. It's always good to talk to you. Is there any other thoughts you had on the show that you want to say?
I'm a big fan of it. I'm really hyped to see what they have going for them next. I don't really have anything more to say. I just think Star Wars animation is some of the best Star Wars out there, and I think I'll die on that hill. And as much as I do love the live action stuff, I think they should turn their attention more towards animation because I think
Mm.
that's where they are the strongest.
Yeah,
Aside from like Andor, which
yeah,
Andor is in its own league of its own. I can't even like talk about it properly.
yeah.
I feel like that's too space brained for me to talk about Andor, but like Star Wars animation is some of its best. So I hope to see more of it. I'm happy they already got I sometimes when things go into pre and post production, they like it so much they're like, we're gonna greenlight the season two. And apparently that's what's already happened. They're already talking about season two, they're already putting stuff into motion. So I can't wait for it. I'm super hyped for it.
Yeah, yeah, same. Yeah,
But yeah,
well,
I mean, we've talked all about me and my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts on Maul Shadow Lord.
oh,
Yeah, I'm
yeah, I would,
interviewing you now. How does it
I know.
feel?
I'm very excited to see what they do. It seems like a very like interesting
Mhm.
uh kind of point in that universe for Maul because it's been weird with Maul where it's like when he kind of we've seen like almost like fragmented storytelling, um fragmented storytelling of that
Mhm.
character where it's like we see him come back in Clone Wars and then like fast forward we see him
Mhm.
in Rebels where it's like he's like decrepit again and then we see him
He's the
again.
old man Maul.
Yeah, he's old, and in Solo, he's like really like um at the top of his game, and then he gets killed in Rebels. He kind of
Hmm.
reminds me of it reminds me of if you know the character from The Simpsons, Homer's brother Herb, where he's like
Hmm.
rich and then he's broke again and then he's like rich
And then
again.
again,
Yeah, kind of like so it's like he's kind of over the place. So it's now to see like the kind of
mm.
missing pieces of the through line for where Maul went is really interesting, I felt.
Oh, I love that. No, yeah, because we kind of just see him jumbled all over the place, and it's nice to finally sort of that journey. I saw some chodes online that were like, "I can't believe Maul would lose so bad to Inquisitors and Vader." Do 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 do, and Maul loses so much. He
Hmm.
loses throughout the entirety of his career as a Sith, since being picked up as a child. Oh yeah, shout out. I'm just thinking of stuff. The character work that's been done for Maul, like the glimpses into his childhood, the few we've gotten is just so intriguing to me. Because we heard from Mother Talzin, we're like, oh yes, he was picked up from the planet, da da da, whatever. But like seeing a little glimpse of that and just like the training of Palpatine lightning him, like no, no, I'd be fucked up too if my master was
Yeah.
lightning me, shocking me every day.
They go to like really interesting
Hmm.
places with kind of his backstory because he was, not to excuse him for certain stuff, but he did get pretty like, you see him like
Mm.
abused, taken from his family. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
And he's truly tortured by the Force, it feels like, which is just so intriguing to me.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. But yeah, I guess we're excited for season two, see where that takes us,
Yeah,
right?
I'm super hyped for it.
Yeah, let's see. But Noah, I guess kind of winding down here, where can people find you at? Anything you want to promote?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at I Wanna Know About It, a place where I dump nerdy videos as well as sometimes a podcast where I interview friends about things they know. You can also find photography work at NJG Photos on Instagram and sometimes here on the Waffle Press. Very rarely, only
Hmm.
ever by Gina Versa, never by Diego Crespo.
Yeah. We'll get you on eventually with Diego.
It's almost like a point of pride. I don't want to be on an episode with Diego. No, it's like a point of like I'm being stubborn now.
Yeah. Crossover. Yeah, do a
Across,
crossover eventually.
what is this? A crossover episode?
Yeah.
Oh,
But no Noah, thanks so much for being on the show. It's always good to have you stop by.
yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be on here.
Thanks, thanks. But yeah, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, G9892. You can find the Waffle Press at the Waffle Press on Twitter, at the Waffle Press Podcast on Instagram. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe. Even if there's something you don't like it anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We've been professionally unprofessional.